Kix FM 91.5 interview with Samantha Fox. Your career officially started at 16, 12 years ago. If you had your time again, would you do it all the same?
Yeah, I think so. Almost definitely. Because when I look back, there's not many regrets. And I kind of think, well, I started very young by going to drama school and stage school. So I think by going to this kind of school gave me the outlet which I needed at a young age, because I was just a frustrated dancer, singer, model, everything when I was a kid. And then it progressed from modelling onto music and TV presenting, VJing. So, no, it's been fantastic.
Do you, or have you ever gotten just entirely fed up with the entire scene, just thought, I want to do something different?
The only time I ever felt that was when things got a bit on top, sometimes things can get a bit heavy with the media. Like, for example, about 6-7 years ago, my parents divorced, and they were making such a meal of it in the media, and that's all they were talking about was, like, my dad and my mum, and kind of making up stories why they'd splitting up. And I felt so sorry for them, because they didn't choose to live in the public eye. It was me who chose to live in the public eye, and because of them, they really suffered. It kind of was all in the open. And I remember saying to my mum, I'm going to get a normal job. I'm going to go and work in a shop. She's going, come on, don't be stupid. You know you could never work in a shop again. And you know, I did feel like that at one point, but for about an hour. That was about it.
You wake up tomorrow and it's your 40th birthday. What do you do?
Well, I'd first of all ring up my bank manager and see if I've had a good 40 years, to make sure I have. Hopefully by the time I'm 40, I'd like to definitely wouldn't like to be in the rock and roll scene because of the amount of travelling. So by the time I'm 40, I'd definitely like to have some little children, and not any grandchildren yet, but little children running around. Yeah.
Would you consider at an older age a tummy tuck, bottom suck, facelift, or any other cosmetic surgery?
Definitely not. No. When it comes to needles or anything to do with doctors or dentists, I hate it so much, and I'm such a baby. No, I've definitely not got the guts to do anything like that.
This last year or so, you've been working and writing material with an Australian. How did you find his accent when you first came over?
Well, first of all, this Australian's a woman. And her, yeah, she did sound like a man. No, not really. Well, in actual fact, because the Australian that I'm working with moved to England about 12 years ago, and she originally, Mike Oldfield was over here in Australia, scouting some like musicians, and he come across Chris Bonacci playing in a place, I don't know, I think somewhere in Melbourne, and he asked her if she'd like to go over to England, so she went over to England and she started playing for him, and then she stayed with a band. She come together with a band called Girls' School. So she was rocking and rolling for about 8 years with that band, and then she got kind of fed up with that life, touring on the road all the time. So she asked me if I was interested in writing, and we got on really well. She's a really good musician, I'm a good lyricist, so the combination was great to get on with songs, and we've been working together now for about 4 years. So I'm definitely used to her accent now. And sometimes if I'm spending a lot of time with Chris in the studio, my mum says to me after a few days of me coming out of there, you know what, your voice is going up on the end like that. You sound like an Australian. Yeah, accent's a very contagious thing, I tell you.
You're actually in Melbourne now. Are you working, promoting, or just having a bit of a holiday?
A bit of both, really. Just before Christmas, I'd finished my album and I was completely exhausted. And then and also around Christmas, there was nowhere in Europe, which was really warm. All over England was kind of frozen over. So Chris said, why don't we go to Australia for a holiday? So for the first 3 weeks, I did nothing. I just toured around and saw lots of her family and went sightseeing and did all that. And then just before I was going home, which was last week I was going to go home, I decided to get in touch with the record company over here and see when they're going to release my new single. And they said, like middle of Feb. So I took the opportunity to be able to do some promotion. Yeah. It's
Good.
a long way from England, you see. So while I'm here, I might as well do it. Yeah, it'd be great. I'd love to get a hit in Australia, then I'll be able to come back here again.
What have you actually seen of Australia?
Well, I came here about 7-8 years ago, and the first time I came, I stayed up in Queensland in Surfers Paradise, which was completely different to what I imagined. I felt like I was in Miami or somewhere, but then I finally went up to Cairns, and we hired a boat and I toured all around the Barrier Reef, so I got to see some beautiful islands. And this time I went to Melbourne, and it's a great city. It reminds me of a lot of other cities. It reminds me of like a little bit of London, a bit of LA. It's a really cool place. I love it. The people are great. The food's great here. The weather's great. I love it.
At the moment, the weather's great anyway.
Yeah.
It was reported that you spent time writing in Spain. Spanish beats are sort of coming in here a bit. There's a bit of flamenco going on. Do you think the venue could possibly influence your writing and your music style?
Oh, definitely. I think the more popular you become in different countries around the world, you therefore tour in those countries, and it can influence you musically. I spent a lot of time in Spain and South America, and I like percussive beats. I like flamenco guitar. Mixed with this kind of dance element, I think it's a really cool thing. And that's a good thing about working with Chris, because she plays fantastic Spanish guitar, she plays fantastic rock guitar, 12-string, anything you like, so I can really experiment with great dance beats with this great musicianship on top. So, no, definitely on the new album there's a couple of songs which have definitely come from the heart and definitely come from Spain, most definitely.
My next question was, is there any chance of a bit of a flamenco remix on a Fox album?
I would think so, yeah. I know I've got a lot of fans in Spain and South America. I know I've got a lot of fans also in France and Italy. So what I normally do, once I once I record a song, is I send to the different labels in the territories, I send them just a cassette of my vocals, and then hopefully they go to the most happening mixer or DJ of their country and get it remixed. And then everybody's happy. Each country are happy with their mix.
That's a damn good way to do it. Is pop and dance style music your preferred style of writing? Is it your only style? Are there any thoughts of sort of varying the tempo?
It's not my only style. I mean, my first, let's say, on my second album, third album, I co-wrote some tunes earlier on in my career. And I used to be, years ago, in the days of Touch Me and Do You Want to Please Me, I used to think of myself as a rock chick. I mean, my heroes were like, heroines were Susie Quattro and Debbie Harry and Pat Benatar. So 10 years ago, that's how I was, that's how I saw myself. So I used to write a lot of rock and roll. And then over the years, it's progressed to pop, because the lyrics have to, as people grow older, I know definitely as I've grown older, I like to write a lot more than just about sex and rock and roll. I like to write about feelings and positive things and, meaningful romantic songs, rather than rock and roll,
Rock hard, Susie Quattro. Movies and acting. You've had a sitcom, starred in a few other things. Are there any more upcoming performances? Any sort of tendencies to go back into that sort of side of showbiz?
Each time I ever did something like acting, it was always because, for one, I liked the program, and it was something new and different for me. It was only ever a one-off thing. I could never actually take time off and do like a movie or a play, because you're talking 6-7 months to do that. There's never no time in between recording and touring. So when I did do these one-off things, there were things I really wanted to do and I had a lot of fun doing. And I think in the future, if something came up, like I'd always wanted to do, like if it was a cameo role in Goldie Hawn's new movie or something, it's some real funny film, then I'd do it. But no plans, really, not in the near future, no.
For all the Kix desperados in the audience, are you married, engaged, entangled in any way?
No, at the moment I'm single and I'm very happy. I feel like this is my second coming. It's been 4 years since my last album, and I really don't want to ruin it by falling in love, because when you fall in love, terrible things can happen. You kind of forget all about your career and about everything. Well, I do anyway. So I just want to get myself up and running and make sure everybody all over the world gets to hear this new Sam Fox album, and then I'll think about maybe falling in love again, but not yet.
In a true Kix FM tradition, we always get our guests to do like a quick answer section to some rapid fire questions. Okay, so you ready? Okay. Baywatch.
Pamela Anderson.
Favourite piece of clothing?
Socks.
Favourite pizza?
Margarita.
Favourite song?
I love When the Doves Cry by Prince.
Favourite venue?
Alexandra Palace in London, England.
Michael Jackson?
I don't really know what to say about him, to be honest.
Neighbours?
It's on twice a day in England, and it seems to be on at those times when somebody comes to visit me. You know, it's like kind of on in the background. Yeah, it's very popular in Britain. It's okay. I'd like to do a cameo role in Neighbours. Actually, that could be my next acting thing. A little part in Neighbours. Everybody in England would love that. Definitely.
They actually filmed it in Melbourne. You should pop over there and see if you can stick your head in.
Yeah.
Favourite male quality?
Protection.
This interview?
Over.